Yo, Yandi back on your phone, on your tablet, in your screen to bring you information and gameplay of the 7.0 update in EA Sports UFC 4. It's been out for nearly a week now, but what the hell. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to go through the major updates first. They added two new fighters, Conor McGregor from 178 and Yuri Prochazka to light heavyweight. If you didn't know, UFC 178 was the first McGregor vs Poirier bout, so no wonder they added him in this update. Anyways, there's a few differences between the Conor McGregor models. In striking, blocking, head movement, takedown defense, and kick power have a difference between 1 to 3 points, and then in health, chin, body, legs, and recovery, pretty much the same thing. Yuri seems to have very good striking and health. With 96 punch power, he's in 4th place tied with Liddell, Uzdemir and Vanderlei. He also leads the head movement stat in light heavyweight. Anderson Silva being in 2nd place for head movement at 95 skill points. He could definitely work on his grappling game since he has 3.5 stars. And for his cardio, chin and recovery, he's overall in the top 3 of light heavyweight. Jessica Andrade was added to the flyweight and bantamweight divisions. In all 3 divisions, she has the same stats as I can tell. Some beasts were added into the heavyweight division, Andre Bishop and Isaac Frost. They added a venue select to online quick fighting to prioritize venues during matchmaking. They also fixed some scaling issues with Creative Fighter in event and tournament mode, and some mismatched ratings and with the AI. Alright, now for the gameplay updates. The way EA shows it on their website is a bit too confusing, so I categorized everything in striking, grappling, submission, stamina, damage, health, and issues, bugs, and tweaking. Alright, for striking, they added a new leg kick specifically, calf kicks to all fighters. Instead of just tapping the buttons for the normal leg kick that we used to do, we're going to have to be holding it down now. Whereas when we tap it now, it's going to be that new calf kick. The calf kicks target the lower part of the leg, so it's best used to destabilize your opponent, interrupting strikes and whatnot. And they are safer versus leg kicks. For balance purposes, they've nerfed the new calf kick, and they say you can do the same combos, but I wasn't able to do that lead leg kick. So yeah, I don't know. Most of them you can do, but that lead leg kick and leg kick you can't. The next striking update was that the body side kicks now track, and specifically on the outside. I love this update. I used to throw all the side kicks and they'd always miss, so I stopped using it. But now they're going to come back in my game. Next, for striking updates, there's a new set of blocking animations, and they polish the old ones. When your block health is low and flashing, it will revert to the old one, but generally I've been seeing some strikes don't register to the block's health. So in this video, you'll see sometimes I'll throw a punch, a hook or a straight, and it won't register, it won't take down the health of the block. I guess that's something for the next update. Alright, now for the grappling updates. Single and low single bails now require a stamina advantage of 30%. Attempting it without such an advantage will result in the drive ending in the favor of the defender. You used to be able to bail the single leg and take your opponent's back, and then from there you could jump for the backpack, or you can take them down. It's pretty much a 50-50 from there. So it was kind of cheesy. That's why they've added this 30% advantage, so they can't spam it. I'm not sure why they haven't done it for the double leg, because you can do pretty much the same thing if you bail it and then you pull guard and pull guard to top mount as well, or like the takedown again. So yeah, not sure about that one. So the next grappling update is increased denial window for the hip toss from collar tie and Muay Thai clinch. So they increased the denial window for the hip toss, but they cut into the time you can scramble for it. So that means, yeah, the denial window is bigger, but if you stuff it up, it will be harder to scramble. Alright, for the next update, now the defender can instantly escape from the back clinch after the Osotogari scramble, unless the attacker has 30% stamina advantage. It was quite unfair before this update because the takedown, the Osotogari, is quite fast and not a lot of people have it, so it's quite hard to anticipate it. So when you scramble and you'd end up in the back clinch, you'd have a 50-50 chance again to be taken down. So it's good that they did this. Reversals and arm traps now wipe grapple advantage. Previously, you'd reverse or trap an arm and get to the new position, but it wouldn't wipe the grapple advantage, so they would easily be able to move on to the next position or get out of your guard generally. So yeah, now they clear the grapple advantage, and once you get to that position, it should give you a small amount. So the next change in the grappling aspect of the game is that they slow down the head pull fake from dominant backside. It's the entry for the bulldog choke and the transition to the back sitting added in the previous patch. The starting animation was too fast, so they could easily fake it. They fixed that, they made it slower, but the denial window hasn't changed, so you can't fake it as easily as then. They finally refined the starting animation of the transition from backside to full guard. By the time the shoulders started moving, the denial window had already passed. I don't think I ever blocked that transition. And even now that they've fixed it, it's still quite hard, but imagine back then how it was. The shoulders took too long to start moving, so you couldn't read it. Now the shoulders start straight away to move, so now it's easier to deny them reactively. So this is the last update for the grappling aspect of the game. They restricted the use of the muscle modifier on the ground to the same rules in UFC 3. It's only available now for all get-ups on the ground and sit-out sweeps from sprawl. As you can see, the stamina drainage from the muscle modifier is massive. Use this with moderation. Onto the submission updates. Attackers can now cancel the submission by pressing R1 and L1 together, the bumpers on Xbox. They've increased the penalty on limb submissions. They have also increased the effect of submission defense rating, and they've done submission strength tuning. Generally, I've been hearing all around that the game feels way better after this general patch, this 7.0 patch. Specifically for me, this submission update and the previous one has made the ground game a lot better. I've been able to pull off submissions way more often now, and it's all thanks to all these updates. So for the damage updates, there's quite a few good ones. The first one is that they decreased the block breakdown by 15%, and then the second one is that they decreased the roundhouse bleed through to the head from 20% to 10%. Just by these two updates, they've made the game a little less annoying. You know, that 1-2 and the roundhouse to the head, knocking you down and probably even out? Well, that's going to be a little harder to do now. They decreased the permanent body damage by 10% and reduced the number of leg health events before the TKO. Before that last update, you'd keep on chopping the legs and he'd get hurt, but you'd have to hurt him so many times before it was a TKO. They made the special backwards leg lunge mitigate leg damage instead of increasing it. This ties in with the previous update where they've increased the damage or just generally lowered the health of the legs, but now we have another way of avoiding that damage. For the next damage update, they've reduced the damage of the back knees in the clinch to the head and the body from collar tie, Muay Thai clinch and the single under clinch by 20%. The back knees are still better than the elbows, but compared to the lead knee, due to their speed, they've retained their same damage. They have also reduced the bleed through of clinched knees. Since you can't avoid them, blocking is the best option, so they've made that a bit better. Strike damage in the crucifix position has now been reduced by 25%. That's pretty good for some people, and for others, it's not. The people that just love getting to that position and keeping you there, they're going to be butthurt a bit. But it's going to be good for the overall ground game. Not everyone's going to be spamming and racing to get to that position. Alright, so there's only one health update in this patch. They've reduced the recovery of the resistance to the head health events between rounds. What I understand from this is that we're going to have more head health events. They're reducing the resistance to the head health event. It would make it easier to stun, knock down, or even KO your opponents. Now we're going to talk about the stamina updates. The general goal seems to have been that they wanted to change the pace of the fights. They tuned strike stamina costs for each division. They reduced the cost for heavier divisions and increased it for the lighter ones. These adjustments were small though. With the combinations you are seeing here, I'm trying to show that they decrease the effect of the cardio attribute on the starting stamina. I go through the same combination in round 1 and round 2 while hitting the opponent and also throwing it in the air. They also tune the stamina recovery to be slower when the stamina is high. One last stamina update in regards to striking is that they made plotting footwork stamina threshold more dynamic based on the footwork and the leg health. That pretty much means when the fighter starts dragging his feet, it's going to be based on the footwork and the leg health. So just by these updates, you can see that the pace has changed completely. Now for the stamina updates in regards to grappling. They increased the permanent stamina cost of ground transitions by 50%, so you got to be a bit more careful about getting your transitions denied. They greatly decreased the stamina cost of the whizzer escape. This was definitely needed. You would escape a fairly dangerous position and half your stamina is drained. And for the last stamina update, they increased the clinch backtake stamina cost. It doesn't look too much, but yeah, I also don't remember how it was before. Anyways, that was it for the main updates. There were some issues, bugs, and tuning that were fixed. There was an issue where submissions would finish before the progress bar had completed, and then also something to do with the chaining of submissions as well. And then just generally AI tuning bugs issues, as I said before. Yeah, so that was it for the video. It took longer than I thought it would, but I got it done in the end. Better late than never, I guess. That was the 7.0 patch for EA Sports UFC 4. Stay in touch.